Stop scrolling right now, because if you are a veteran, a military retiree, or you love someone who wore the uniform, what I am about to tell you could change how much money lands in your bank account starting this September and October. There are new rules rolling out, deadlines you cannot afford to miss, and at least one benefit change that could quietly cut off your payments if you do not act. I have gone through the fine print, so you do not have to. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what is shifting, who it affects, and the one simple habit that could save you thousands of dollars a year. Stick with me until the end because the last change on this list is the one almost nobody is talking about, and it might matter to you the most. Let us start with the one that catches the most people off guard every single year around this time, and that is the return to school. If you or someone in your family is using the post-9/11 GI Bill this fall, the payment rates you are used to have already shifted. New maximum payment amounts for tuition, housing allowance, books, flight training, and licensing or certification tests took effect at the start of August and now run through the end of July next year. That means the numbers your school certifying official or your VA education counselor quoted you last year may not be accurate anymore. If you are heading back to class this September or you are already enrolled and just started a new term, this is the moment to log into your va.gov account and pull up your updated statement of benefits so you know exactly what is being paid and what your remaining entitlement looks like. Do not assume that because you used these benefits before, you already understand what you are entitled to now. Rates change every year, and eligibility details shift too, so treat every new academic year like it is your first time reading the rules. Now here's the part that genuinely worries me for a lot of you, and it has to do with something called monthly enrollment verification. Since the start of this year, every single person using VA education benefits, whether that is post-9/11 GI Bill, Montgomery GI Bill, or several other VA education programs, has been required to confirm every single month that they are still enrolled and still attending classes. If you miss that verification window, your housing allowance payment does not just get delayed a little bit, it stops completely, and there is no grace period. It will not automatically restart when you finally remember to do it. You have to go back in, verify, and then wait for the system to catch up. Think about what that means if you are relying on that housing payment to cover your rent. One missed text message, one missed email, one busy week where school and work and family life get in the way, and suddenly your housing check does not show up.
This is exactly the kind of change that sounds small on paper but hits hard in real life, especially now that a new semester just started, and the excitement of syllabus week can make it easy to forget an administrative task like this. My honest advice, and I mean this, set a recurring reminder on your phone for the first of every month for as long as you are using these benefits. It takes 30 seconds through va.gov, by text or by phone, and it is the cheapest insurance policy you will ever take out on your own housing payment.
Moving on to something bigger. For those of you who are military retirees drawing both retirement pay and VA disability compensation. Starting October 1st, which is the beginning of the new fiscal year, a new program is set to roll out that changes how concurrent retirement and disability pay works for certain veterans. If you have 20 or more years of service and a VA disability rating of 50% or higher, you may soon be given a choice between staying on the traditional full concurrent retirement and disability pay structure, or opting into a new blended payment arrangement instead. This came out of changes written into the most recent defense authorization process, and it is a genuinely big deal because it is not a one-size-fits-all situation. Depending on your specific rating, your years of service, and your personal financial picture, one option could clearly outperform the other for you, or the difference could be negligible. This is not a decision to make on a whim or based on what your buddy from your old unit tells you at a barbecue. Pull your most recent statement of military retired pay and your VA compensation letter. Sit down with an accredited Veterans Service Officer or a financial advisor who actually understands military and VA pay structures, and run the numbers for your specific situation before this program takes effect. Automated systems will be doing a lot of these calculations behind the scenes, and automated systems make mistakes, so double-check everything that lands in your mailbox or your inbox once this transition begins. If you are a surviving spouse receiving dependency and indemnity compensation, there is good news buried in all of this. For deaths occurring on or after the 1st of January this year, DIC payments increased by roughly 12%, and eligibility criteria were expanded to cover certain service-connected conditions that previously might have made a claim more difficult to prove. If you have a DIC claim that was denied in the past, or if you have been putting off filing because you assumed the amount would not be worth the paperwork, this is a genuinely good time to revisit that decision. Reach out to a veteran service officer, because these services are free, and have them take a fresh look at your case under the current rules, rather than the old ones. On the disability compensation side more broadly, this year's cost of living adjustment came in at 3.2%, applied across every tier of disability compensation. To put a real number on that, a veteran with a full 100% rating and no dependents is now receiving just under $3,940 a month. If your bank statement does not reflect that updated figure, that is a signal to log into va.gov and check your award letter, because a mismatch could mean either a processing delay on VA's end or an error worth flagging immediately. And if you have a pending claim, or you are thinking about filing one, keep an eye on proposed changes working through the rulemaking process that would affect how new claims and reevaluations get scored going forward. To be very clear, these proposed changes would not reach backward and reduce or freeze anyone's existing rating or existing payment. They are about how future claims get evaluated. But if you are sitting on paperwork for a claim you have been meaning to file, this is worth paying attention to. Because the rules that apply on the day your claim is decided are the rules that matter, not the rules that applied when you first got hurt. There is also a piece of legislation working its way through Congress right now that would create a brand new monthly benefit specifically for certain severely disabled veterans who need help with daily living activities, sometimes called aid and attendance. As it stands, this bill has cleared committee review but has not yet become law. So I want to be upfront that this is not guaranteed and the details could still change before anything is finalized. If it does move forward as currently written, the new payment would start at a few $100s a month, with automatic increases over time tied to cost of living adjustments. And it would specifically target veterans who currently qualify for aid and attendance allowances. I am not going to tell you to count on this money yet, because bills change or stall out all the time on Capitol Hill, but I am telling you to watch it, because if you or someone you love needs daily living assistance, this could be a meaningful addition to your monthly income if it clears the finish line. Now let me give you two protections that are already locked into law for this fiscal year that you may not have heard about, because they did not get nearly enough coverage when they passed. First, VA is now barred from submitting a veteran or beneficiary's name to the federal background check system used for firearm purchases without a judge signing off that the person is actually a danger to themselves or to others. This specifically protects veterans who have a fiduciary managing their VA benefits, giving them the same due process rights that anyone else would expect before losing a constitutional right. Second, VA is prohibited from cutting reimbursement rates for private ground and air ambulance services, which matters enormously if you have ever needed emergency transport and worried about what would or would not be covered afterward. These are not flashy headline changes, but they are the kind of protections that quietly matter a great deal if you ever find yourself in the exact situation they were written to address. And finally, if you have not looked into PACT Act coverage yet, more than 100,000 new veterans enrolled in VA healthcare in just the early part of this year alone, largely driven by expanded coverage for toxic exposure-related conditions. More than 20 additional presumptive conditions have been added since the law first passed, which means conditions that used to require you to prove a direct service connection may now be presumed connected automatically if you served in the right place at the right time. If you were told years ago that your condition did not qualify, or if you never bothered filing because you assumed toxic exposure claims were a lost cause, it is worth revisiting that decision with updated information, because the list of what counts has grown significantly. Here is the honest bottom line. None of these changes require you to do anything complicated, but almost every single one of them requires you to actually pay attention, and that is the part most people skip. Set your monthly verification reminder if you are in school. Pull your statement of benefits and compare it to what is actually hitting your account. If you qualify for the concurrent pay changes coming in October, get real numbers from a real professional before you pick a lane. Revisit old DIC or PACT Act decisions with fresh eyes, and keep half an eye on that pending legislation, because if it passes, you will want to already know whether it applies to you. Rules like these do not usually announce themselves loudly. They show up quietly in an award letter, a missed payment, or a form you did not realize you needed to fill out again. And by the time most people notice, they have already lost money they were entitled to. If this video helped you understand what is actually changing, instead of leaving you more confused than when you started, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now, because I put out new videos breaking down exactly this kind of information every single week, the moment it happens, in plain language, without the bureaucratic jargon that makes half of these announcements impossible to actually use. This channel exists because veterans and military families deserve to know what they are owed without needing a law degree to figure it out. And every single subscriber helps this information reach one more person who might otherwise miss a payment they earned. So take 2 seconds, tap subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss the next update, and drop a comment letting me know which one of these changes affects you the most. Because I read every single one, and it genuinely shapes what I cover next. Thank you for watching all the way through. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you in the next one.